Walk with me for a few minutes. We are in it right now. Like, in the thick of it. Like, stuck in the middle of it. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because I know you can feel it. It's just a lot. COVID, pandemic, quarantine. Numbers are going up, numbers are going down. We're flattening the curve's back growing. Open the restaurants, shut the restaurants. Can go outside, can't go outside. What's right, what's wrong, justice, injustice. What's fair, what's not fair, who's right, who's wrong, what matters, what doesn't. You're angry, they're angry, they have an opinion, we have an opinion, I have an opinion. Noise, propaganda, negative news, fear. There's my interpretation of 2020 so far. And I think we're in the middle of it. And in many cases, stuck in the middle of it. And I think this season in time, this season in all of our lives, a unique period for sure, requires a resilience that maybe we've never had to have before. And I want to talk with all of you today about raising resilience in ourselves and those around us and those we care about. Resilience meaning toughness over time, right? It's not about being brave or courageous in an act or confident in an action. Resilience, say the word in your mind. We all have the feeling. It's about toughness over a period of time. It's about strength through a struggle. It's about enduring. It's about overcoming. It's about getting through. It's about rising up. And for most periods in our life, we don't need a real resilience. We can have a moment of action or, a moment of decision. And for most periods in our life, we can kind of just leap over, walk around, ignore and hope it goes away and come back when it does. But I think it's a rare season where you need a real and true resilience. Morning. And the resilience isn't a option. It's not something we can opt out of. Like, I didn't subscribe for this. Remove me from the 2020 life newsletter. It doesn't work that way. Right now, it's a unique period where the time we're living in, resilience is a requirement, not an option. And so I want to talk about, I think, 5 principles, 5 lessons, 5 instructions that we can all apply to raise our resilience right now. Before we dive into the 5, though, how y'all doing? Who's all out there? You can see I'm breathing heavy. I'm getting into the steep part. Beautiful day here. Pacific Palisades, Santa Monica Mountains. Summer is coming. Who's walking with me? I want to know you're out there. Don't hide behind a screen name. Don't hide behind your phone. Go ahead and drop a comment real quick. Say hello, hi, how you doing? Tell me something about you. What's going on in your life? What's going on in your world? How's your family? How things? Would love to know. If you're back for our walks. I love our walks together. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I see you. If you're new, let us know you're new. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the squad. And if you're new, I'll let you know participation is appreciated. I don't want this to be a one-directional monologue. I read all the comments. I know a lot of people watching do as well, and would love any insight, feedback, perspective, opinion you may have on the topic at hand. That adds value to me. It adds value to everybody here. So please say hi, hello, and chime in if there's something you have a thought on. And again, the dialogue today, raising resilience. So 5 thoughts. I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I say, okay, what do we got to do to raise resilience in ourselves? The first thing is we have to commit to live in the now. I know we've all heard that before, right? Live in the now. The only thing we have is the present. We've all heard some variation of the motivational quote. But guys, now more than ever, we have to live in the now. And that may sound obvious, but if you think and listen to all of the conversations around you, I'm willing to bet you're hearing the same thing that I'm hearing. 9 times out of 10, in a conversation that carries on, at some point in the conversation, it goes back to, man, I can't wait till things go back to normal. In other words, the focus is looking backwards, wanting things to go back to as they once were. Newsflash, things are never, the answer is never, they're not going to ever go back to the way they once were. Matter of fact, that's not just true of this unique season, that's always true. Guys, time does not stand still. The only thing constant is change. We are forever in a state of evolution. And even though logically and intellectually we know that, mentally we always try to cling or crave to what once was because of familiarity. You guys see, we're built and wired for our bodies to crave certainty. And we'll take familiarity or the feeling of certainty because it makes us feel better for the moment. So many conversations are, man, I can't wait till we can go back to normal. Things go back to the way they once were. Guys, continuing to put yourself looking backwards is not going to build resilience and get us through. It's going to lead to depression, concern, anger. The other half of the conversations, if people aren't looking backwards, the conversations gravitate toward the future. Man, I can't wait till we're on the other side of this. I can't wait until this is all over. I can't wait until this ends, right? So we're focused on a future state, which in a lot of cases, guys, a future focus can be good if directed the right way in a vision or inspiration or goal mindset. But if we're focused on the future, when it comes to the current state, guys, in a lot of scenarios, that's just going to build more anxiety. It's going to create an expectation that if it doesn't end next week, next month, this year, it's going to create an expectation that creates more frustration, lets you down. Focusing on the future is also always an unknown by definition, which is an uncertainty. Uncertainty is what leads to a lot of anxiety, a lot of unneeded stress. You know, I think it's got to be a pretty close to accurate fact that 99.9% of things we stress or worry about happening never happen. How many of us are guilty of that? Yet we live in the future, putting ourselves through a constant state of nervous system stimulation of fear. So when I say we got to live in the now, it's not just a, hey, reminder, be present. The moment today is all we have. It's a requirement for resilience. Now is the season we're in. It is a reality. We need to live in today's reality. And that's not a negative thing. We got to focus on the now. We got to deal with what is going on. The good, the bad, the ugly. We have to adapt. What we are in right now is the new normal. It is the new normal. This, today, right now, your life is the new normal. So if today is the new normal, what do we need to do to live in the now and adapt? I think that's the first thing from a resilient standpoint, was you got to be real with ourselves with where we're at. Live in the now. Stop looking backwards. Stop stressing about what may or may not happen in the future and deal with the reality of today. Which leads me to the second principle. If we're living in the now, we also have to put our focus on fact over fear. Probably the hardest thing to do right now, because everywhere we look, we have an infection of fear. I've done some previous talks for those of you guys that have been walking with me for a while on how fear, in my opinion, is the greater virus today. If not, you can check it on the Alive by Design podcast. But you guys, fear is what we're fighting. Yeah, Corona is real, COVID is real. We got to take it serious. We got to overcome. But fear is affecting way more people today than the virus. I wish we were getting stats every day on how many times fear has been used as a tactic to spread to somebody else. How many conversations, news clips, social media posts that have either intentionally or unintentionally transferred fear from one person to another. The thing about fear is it happens without contact or proximity, right? It happens from reading a post on your phone, seeing a news clip on the local news, a simple thought that pops in your head, and you guys were fighting fear today. And that's what's keeping most of us stuck. We need to learn to shift our focus from fear to fact. You guys see, fear creates a constant loop in our body. It is a physiological process that I don't think you can undo. It's wired. You have a thought. If the thought creates a fear, it goes into your nervous system, your monkey brain, your lizard brain, that takes over the feeling that you have and gets your body to physically react. The anxiousness, the anxiety, the feeling in your chest, feeling in your stomach, the panic, the nervousness, the stress, the cortisol. All those guys are instant physiological reactions to a thought of fear. And what's crazy is those reactions in your body are the same reactions your body is programmed to go through if it's like a real threat. If all of a sudden there's a saber-toothed tiger that jumps out in front of you, that's how your body's supposed to respond. But today, we get dinged with those same responses all day long, every day. And it stresses us out, stresses our bodies out. We got to learn to shift from fear to fact. Got to ask ourselves, is everything I'm receiving hyperbole, noise, propaganda? Give me it without the rhetoric. What's the truth? What is the truth? What is my truth? Give it to me in as short and simple framework as possible. You guys, and that's what I mean by shifting fear to fact. Try to eliminate as much of your input when it comes packaged in the fear, and try to get to, okay, what is the fact that I need to make the best decision for me? Reduce and eliminate the rest of the noise. And ask yourself in any situation, am I reacting to fear or am I reacting to fact? Am I responding to fear or am I responding to fact? What is the truth in this matter? What is my truth in this matter? And you guys, the fact is what you want. Here's an interesting point. There was a study done, pretty famous one, that had to do with the way people feel and a feeling of like happiness and, confidence and certainty. And the outcome of the study, the bottom line was this: people would rather deal with a known fact, even if the fact is not what they want, instead of having an unknown future. Meaning, if you have option A, B, and C, A is the best option, B is the second best option, and C is the worst option, you would actually rather know if C is the reality, even if it's the worst option, but know it for certain, than have an unknown of if it's A, B, or C. That's how we're built. We'd rather deal with the fact, because when you deal with the fact, you can figure out how to respond and stop the uncertainty loop or fear loop in your mind. So guys, we got to ask ourselves an empowering question. Is what I'm receiving wrapped in fear, or is what I'm receiving fact? How do I distill the fact? Once I know the fact, how do I respond? You guys, in order to build a resilience, we got to get out of the loop or the fear loop. So we got to live in the now. We got to separate, right, or focus on facts over fear. Number 3, when it comes to recharging. Is this helping? Have you guys got something from it? What's one thing so far? Give me a comment below that you can apply. What's one thing so far that you've gotten from this, right? I want to make sure you're not just listening, but you're hearing, absorbing, receiving. Number 3, we got to recharge. Yes, this is a big one right now. You, we, all of us have to know ourselves well enough to know when we're hitting the red line, to know when we're at threshold, to know when we're gonna burn out. We have to know ourselves well enough to know when to pause and recharge. You guys, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Life is energy. I look at my kids, my 2-year-old Sadie, my 4.5-year-old Grayson. If I were to summarize them in one word, nonstop energy all the time. If I were to look at the biggest difference between a 5-year-old and a 90-year-old, it's the energy. As we get older in life, our energy source, our life source, in many cases, dwindles. If you look at someone that's a young 70, a young 50, it's because they have an energy. Everything's energy. But you guys, we have to protect our energy, because energy cannot go, right, at a 10 out of 10, 100% of the time. It's impossible for anybody. If someone says they figure that out, they are lying. So you have to know where you're at. It takes a lot of time, especially right now with so much pressure, so much around us, in the middle, in the thick of it. Ding, 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 ding. Fear, 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 fear. It wears down our energy. How many of you guys have been in a place over the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 4 months where it's like, man, you just feel like you're out of energy, like you're burned out, like worn out? Guys, that's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Everyone gets to that point, especially with where we're at right now. And if you don't know yourself and know when and how to recharge, you will burn out. You can't go at a 10 100% of the time. And then pretty soon you're going at a 5 or a 6 trying to push. And if you're at a 5 or 6, you're not your best self. You're not your effective self. Your resilience factor is not going to be where it needs to be to get through if you're running on a half a tank. So you got to recharge. This has got to be one of the toughest things of the season we're in, because the very things we normally do consciously or unconsciously to recharge have been limited or restricted. A lot of people recharge by going to the gym, right, or working out, which a lot of them have been closed, or having a trainer, which maybe you're not working out with, or going to the beach or the lake, which a lot of them have been shut down or restricted, right? Or getting even time to yourself away from the kids when they're at school that are no longer at school. You see, a lot of the things we do naturally to recharge have been limited. And if we don't consciously figure out how we continue to recharge our batteries, we will burn out. So you got to know yourself. Whether it's taking 20 minutes and meditating, going for a walk, being out in nature, spending time with a loved one, doing something that's fun, enjoying a hobby. You know the things that fill your cup. Some people need that daily. Maybe it's a 20-minute a day or an hour a day. Some people don't need it daily. Some people need it weekly. They take a half a day, on a Sunday. Some people need it monthly. They got to get away for the weekend. Some people need it quarterly. You got to decide what you need for you, but you got to decide what you need for you right now. And I'm willing to bet what you need right now is different than what you needed 6 months ago. But I'm telling you, to be resilient, you got to have your energy source high. You got to be operating at a 9 and a 10 out of 10, which means you got to pause and recharge yourself. So you have the energy to be resilient at a time right now. Otherwise, just the nature of the season will wear you out. What are you doing right now to recharge? How are you filling your cup? How are you getting your energy bars back up to full? Let me know in the comments below. You might inspire some ideas for others. Number 4, we got to shift from pain to pride. Now, this one's gonna maybe sound a little crazy. I don't mean to come across sadistic. But perspective is everything. You guys, when it comes to resilience, and we're talking about strength through the struggle, here's the way I look at it. I'll quote the legendary Rocky Balboa. He had some good ones. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. That's strength. Guys, strength is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. How many times you can take a hit. How many repeated times you can take hit after hit after hit after hit after hit and continue to stand up and continue to go through and continue to move forward. That's strength. That's strength. So as you're going through this, and don't get me wrong, it hurts. We're all taking hits right now in different ways, depending on who we are, where we're at, what our role is in our work or in our family or in our friend circle. But we're all taking hits, and it hurts. But guys, instead of sitting there taking hits and realizing, man, this hurts, I don't know how much longer I can take this, look at it this way. Look at the hits you're taking. Look at the hits you're taking right now, all around you. And you're still here. And you're still moving forward. And you're still going through. And you're still overcoming. And you're still rising. Look at the hits you can take. Look how strong you really are. You guys, if you flip your filter, shift your perspective, you realize that the hits you're taking isn't about the pain. The hits you're taking, it's about the pride. Look how strong you really are. Look what you can withstand. You guys, we as humans have an insane amount of natural resilience. Sometimes we stress ourselves out, but you're taking it. You're doing it. You are right now, in the moment, in the now, getting through it. You should have pride in that. Be proud in that. Look how strong you are. And you always have been. But in proving to yourself you have that strength, and knowing right now you have that strength, you're now getting even stronger. Guys, we got to shift from pain to that pride, because there is a certainty in knowing that you can take a hit. And you guys, there's a confidence in knowing that you can take hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, and you're still here. Life's still good. You're still growing. Things are still happening. And all of a sudden, there's a feeling of certainty. And you realize, you know what? There's nothing out there that can take you down. Continue taking the hits and have pride that you can take them. Last thing I'll say, amidst all of this, true resilience, I think, has to be grounded in gratitude. If we're gonna not only go through, but grow through, overcome, rise up, we gotta stay grounded in real gratitude. You guys, here's the fact, and I don't mean to minimize the stuff we're going through, because it's a lot of stuff. But I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what you have on your plate. I don't care what you could tell me is being thrown at you right now. Here's what I can guarantee. There is somebody else in the exact same or worse situation, making it happen, winning right now, growing right now, advancing right now. And if they're in the same or worse situation and they can do it, then I know you can do it. We spend a lot of time comparing ourselves to those we perceive have the life that we want and obsessing over the gap of where we think we are and where we think they are and why we're not where we think they are. And that comparison hurts us. You're comparing yourself to the wrong person. Compare yourself to the person that has it worse right now, that has more on their plate, that's taking more hits right now, that doesn't have what you have right now. They would trade all their problems for your problems in a split second. They would swap shoes in an instant to have the problems you have right now and be grateful for it. Compare yourself to those people that are overcoming and draw inspiration of what's possible in the situation you're in. Guys, we got to be grounded in gratitude. No matter how bad it gets, it can always be worse. No matter how bad it is worse for many others. And if we come from a place of appreciation for what we do have and appreciation for what we are going through, and not only what we have, but who we are becoming in the process, the growth we are receiving in the process, the strength we are building in the process. You know, what if the season you're in right now is designed to prepare you for the season ahead? What if everything you're going through right now is just allowing you to become the person you're meant to be? Guys, summer's coming. Summer's coming. Summer's coming. Some of you guys are like, Blake, it already is summertime. No, you missed it. Summer's coming. All right, you guys, there will be a light. But that doesn't mean we can't have the light while we're in the middle of it, the thick of it, right now. But we got to be resilient. We got to be resilient. We're in the middle. There's no looking back. There's no stressing about the future. We're going to live in the now. Face the reality. Where we're going to focus is we're going to focus on distilling facts over fear. Get rid of the hyperbole and the propaganda. What is my truth? How do I respond and react to that? We're going to stop and recharge. Whether that's daily or weekly or monthly, whatever you need to do to keep your energy at a 9 or a 10, you got to have energy to be resilient. Not only for yourself, but those that are depending on you. You can't pour from an empty cup. We got to shift from pain to pride. It's not about how strong or how hard you can hit. It's about how you can get hit. And right now we're taking a lot of hits. And yes, it can be painful, but man, you better smile and be like, man, I can take a hit. And you guys, that pride should build some confidence and some strength, because that is true strength. And let's stay grounded in gratitude for what we do have. And look around at people that have less and are doing more with less. That's resilience. Top of the mountain view, a little cloudy. Can't really see the ocean down there, cloud layer in. So guys, there's some thoughts today. I think resilience is what we need right now more than ever. Strength through the struggle, toughness over time. And there's my 5 thoughts on how to elevate up in us and those around us. You guys tell me, what's one thing you got? Which one of the 5 do you need to work on most? Give me a comment below. What's the commitment? All right, don't just hear this, but receive this, and more importantly, apply this so you can elevate your resilience today, this week, this month. If you got value from this, feel free to share. If there's someone that came to your mind that embodies resilience right now, tag them in the comments and give them some love and shout outs. If there's someone that needs, a little push in resilience right now, tag them and say, hey, this gift is for you. Share it if you feel it'll apply to your network or your community. And as always, guys, I appreciate our time together. Look forward to the feedback, look forward to the comments, and look forward to the next time we walk together. Keep the conversations going. Be resilient, everybody. I know you can. I believe in you. You got it in you. Have a great day.